Hi everyone, this is Lisa Grace on the Teach Middle East podcast. Today I have Hazel Govender with me, and we are going to be talking about her work. She is currently the principal of GEMS Cambridge International School, Abu Dhabi, a beautiful school down there in the Banias region. Little fun fact, guys, I nearly put my kids with her. That's how much I admire her. But they rebelled and wanted to go to another school. And, kids rule nowadays, I guess. Either that or I'm not very strong at parenting, but they opted out. But I'm delighted to have Hazel. We met, she spoke at the Middle East School Leadership Conference recently. Her story is powerful, she's powerful, and we want to get to know her. So welcome, Hazel.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm really, really excited to be here today, and I've been looking forward to it.
Brilliant. She's always donning that beautiful red lip. I'm always like jealous. I'm like, oh, how does she get that nice red lip going? Anyway, I digress, guys. Hazel, I know from your accent you're South African, but just tell us a little bit about where you grew up and how you ended up being the educator that you are today.
Well, that's an interesting story. I grew up in South Africa in a little village called Escort. I doubt very much that it's actually even on the map. Grew up in an apartheid era. I was born in 1970 and really, was born in an era where there was a lot of challenges in the country. We have an incredibly beautiful land, but we've had our battles over the years. And I got married at a very early age, had my children very early, got into education because I wanted to be the educator that I never had. And I literally climbed up the corporate ladder very quickly. I became a leader in South Africa, and then we made the decision to leave South Africa and come to the UAE. So here I am now, the principal and CEO at GEMS Cambridge Internationals.
So tell me, when you decided to make that transition to Abu Dhabi, what made you decide to do that?
A lot of reasons, Lisa Grace. I was looking for financial stability, and unfortunately, our country couldn't offer it to us, especially those being in the education sector. I also really wanted to grow my youngest daughter up in a land that was a little bit more safe. And I think even though South Africa comes with so much of beauty, we are aware of the crime that we have there and the issues that actually really do stem from poverty and people just really wanting to take care of their families. And I wanted Hannah to grow up in a land that was really safe, where she could just have that freedom to run around and feel that safety. Not just for Hannah, but for the other three daughters of mine as well. So the move to the UAE came at the right time for us, and it was the best decision at that time, I believe.
When did you move here?
2015 December.
Okay. Um, Having been here now for what's looking like 9 years, tell me, what are some of the things that make this country so hard to leave?
I really love the safety aspect, especially. I love the fact that I'm able to allow Hannah to just freely roam around in a mall while I'm there. She doesn't have to be within, handshot of me. She's able to just really enjoy walking around without mummy having to hold her hand or constantly keeping my eye on her. It's not the case back at home in South Africa. It's a beautiful land, but we do have our issues with security and safety. The financial freedom of being in the UAE, the ability to travel so freely, is something we don't have back home. So there are many factors, it's also about meeting different people from different countries. It's that diversity. It's so really enriching the whole experience. but I am a true African at heart, and I would love to return to my home country one day.
If you were to return there for retirement, because I love South Africa, let that be on record. I absolutely love South Africa. I think even going there on holidays, people always go, "Why are you going to South Africa?" Because I go to Cape Town, and I'm like, because it's a vibe, people. It is a vibe.
Yes,
Yes, you have to
yes,
be conscious of your surroundings, but it's a vibe. I love the people, I love the music, I love the vibe, I love the food
yes,
for sure.
yes.
So, where would you retire in South Africa if you had the chance?
So our family home is in Johannesburg, but it is currently rented out. And then we now go to our holiday home in Durban. And it's incredible. We're close to the sea. Actually, we're on the sea. And, we're just able to walk down and look at these huge, beautiful waves and really enjoy God's beautiful creation, because Durban is a very green, very natural part of South Africa. So I would go to Durban and retire there.
Oh, it's brilliant. But we're nowhere near retirement. We have some years to go. You have
Actually,
been
54 tomorrow, Lisa. So, yeah, not that far
Oh,
away.
come on. Nobody retires at 50 or 60 anymore. And who
You're
retires? I
right.
have no plans to retire.
Actually, neither do I.
What do you see yourself doing after maybe exiting this role whenever?
For me, I can see myself in education for a long time. So whether it's principal here or somewhere else, or a role where I have a few other schools to take care of. But I think for me, I'm the leader who sees the need to inspire others. And I've been told very often that I'm really a very inspiring leader. And I think leaders must recognize that role they play in, really inspiring others and cultivating geniuses with the people that they work with. And I don't think I'm anywhere near being over with that. And it doesn't matter the role. For me, it's not about titles. It's about just being able to contribute to education in that way. After, retirement, I can see myself with uh, something, to do with children, working in a children's home, maybe actually, having my own children's home. That's something that's really close to my heart.
Brilliant. And obviously with all your expertise and all the years of experience, that would be some special children's home. But
Yes.
here's my other thing for you. When you look at the education landscape, so you're looking at UAE particularly, what are you seeing that excites you?
It's the constant evolving of education. We went into the COVID era and we all wondered what was that going to look like. At that time, I was the head of primary, and the team and I got together and we said to ourselves, we're not going to allow COVID to limit us. And we really worked so hard to deliver the best possible learning experience during COVID. We were extremely successful with it. So it's, how it's constantly evolving and changing. I very recently was accredited with school inspector certification. So I'm very proud of that. And that's something I'd like to do as well. I'd like to pursue, going into schools, inspecting them, and being able to help them to drive their standards towards excellence. So it's really exciting here. You're learning from different people, from different leaders. It's the interactions with all these different people on a daily basis. And I feel like it's just so enriching.
And you have, because I've been to your school, you have a lovely school. So I'm
Yes,
going to use this part of the pod to give you a chance to let our listeners know about GEMS Cambridge International Abu Dhabi. My nephew attended there. He recently
yes.
um, migrated. But what what would you say makes your school special?
Without a shadow of doubt, it's the family feel. And it's people in the school, all stakeholders that feel that. It's every visitor that walks through our doors. We've had a lot of people just walk in and say, you've got such a beautiful family feel. Everybody's smiling. There looks like genuine happiness flowing through your school. And it's because I lead with empathy. And that's the expectation of all my leaders. You lead with kindness, you lead with empathy. We've got just, little small random acts of kindness throughout the day that makes everybody feel like we're a family. We look forward to coming here. And that's what makes us special. The group of educators that we have here are super passionate about what they do. It's not just a job that we come to every day, it's just our family that we come to every day. We've got a specific vision. We know exactly why we're here. We know our purpose, and we just constantly working towards ensuring that our vision is actualized daily. So CIA is an incredibly special place because of the people that work here.
Yeah, my nephew went there for probably the whole of his school from KG right the way up, and he
Yeah,
loved it. So
yeah,
it's not, sometimes you hear about a school from the principal and it's all nice and rosy, but I know firsthand that my nephew really loved being
yeah.
there and enjoyed his time immensely. What are you guys working on? What are the areas for improvement that you guys are honing in on? Because we're ending the academic year. By the time this podcast comes out, it will be June and the academic year would be winding down. So then people have started to look at where they're going for the new academic year 24-25. What is GEMS Cambridge International looking at as a work in progress that they want to achieve?
Absolutely. I think what we're trying to achieve here is a very, so the chairman of GEMS has recently launched a new movement called the Family First Movement. And for us, that's something we believe we've always had within our school walls. We really, really want to drive that as our unique selling point, or one of our unique selling points. We want our families to feel like they are genuinely cared for, that we do care about our families. So the Family First movement, we're really passionate about it. We're really driving it. We want to continue with staff development. I think in this ever changing landscape, staff come in, we develop, we invest in them a lot, and they move along, especially recently with the competitors and the packages they're offering. So CIA is really focusing on investing in our people, making sure that they feel valued. We're looking at succession planning on all levels. We are now moving into another inspection year. So we've got Urtica inspection in the new year. We've got our BSO reaccreditation. We've got our HPL reaccreditation because we are a world-class school. And we've recently reaccredited for 4 of our Optimus Awards. So we are one of 2 schools in the world to have all 6 Optimus Awards. We're very excited about that. So I think for us, it's really keeping that momentum and just going, uh, through it, ensuring that the promise that we make to our parents to deliver world-class education is exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, brilliant. It's lovely to hear sort of like what's coming up for the
Yes,
schools and what people are working on. Progress is what brings that joy. If you're
yeah,
making progress, if you're working towards everything can't be perfect and it won't be. Staff will
exactly.
go, people will move. I mean, just next door to you in Masdar will be another massive GEMS school
Yes,
founders. I was
yes,
speaking to Albie on the podcast recently about what's going on there. So, to have this kind of movement and shift in the market means that you as a school will have to hone your legacy. Last year at the Middle East School Leadership Conference, we spoke about empathy. Next year's
mhm,
theme is going to be about leading forward and building a legacy.
yes.
What would you want your legacy to be as a school leader when you eventually leave that role?
I really would like my legacy to be that of empathy and kindness. And I think that's a lot of what the staff tell me. They tell me that the kindness and the empathy that they see at school really has stemmed from me. That is my passion. That is what I'm about. That's who I am. I'm about humility. I'm about, empathy. I see the people that I work with as human beings before anything else. And I feel like kindness is the solution to so much. Empathy, just listening to people, genuinely caring about people. It's those connections and the relationships that we need to build. And I believe that that is what is going to be our legacy, or I'd like to see that, which is my legacy, continue in the school even long after I have left CIA. And I see that with the leaders, my plans for succession at CIA, I see that genuinely built within them and the way they lead their teams.
Yeah, one of the things as we focus on leading forward is to look at how schools are developing the next set of leaders. That level of business, if you like, continuity, that
Yes,
should you step aside, suddenly there is
yes.
somebody who is right there ready because they have been prepared. How can schools do that effectively, you think?
For me, I have to tell you, it actually starts during the recruitment process. So we've got a very robust recruitment process. And when I interview, even for a class teacher, I am literally looking at the next leader at CIA. So we're looking for people who exhibit those qualities of leadership, true leadership. We are looking for people who are going to be able to bring to our culture what we're looking for. So it starts with recruitment, and then it's investing in the people that you have. For me, I don't think there's anything more empowering for a leader than to promote from within. And I'm one of those success stories at CIA because I started in 2016 as a year six educator. I was promoted the next year to a head of year, promoted the next year to an assistant head teacher, promoted the next year to the head of primary, spent 3 years in that role, and then interviewed for the position of principal and CEO. And here I am today, having really, so I'm part of the homegrown succession plan. So I believe that that's what leaders need to do. You start at the recruitment process, you start looking at future leaders for your school, you invest in your people that you have currently and ensure that you have succession planning for every level or every department of your school. Because should I step out tomorrow, I know that I've got somebody competent enough to sit in the school and drive it forward and keep that momentum going.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And then when you think about giving the reins over to maybe somebody, how can school leaders ensure that the person they're training gets enough time to try their hand, if you like, at running things? How can they manage that?
I think it's about trusting that person and delegating. So I don't lay down the law. I don't tell people what to do. I allow time for discussions. I embrace other people's opinions, and very much with my senior leadership team that I'm developing to fill in my shoes or sit in this chair or for similar roles. So I give them the opportunity to make decisions, that I would make. I give them the trust that they deserve. They know that I trust them to make the right decisions. I'm able to, head off for a meeting very comfortably, even if it's for half the day or for the day, knowing that there are people here who are going to make the right decisions and they know what to do. So it's trusting those people that you have within your team to know that they are capable, allowing them to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. So I really believe that you've got to have that trust, that transparency, and just allow them, just give them the opportunity to make those decisions. And that just prepares them for roles like this.
Yeah, as you were talking, I wanted to just ask, Where does failure come into all of that? Because when you delegate and when you trust, inevitably there will be some amount of failure. What happens then?
When there's failure, you've got to ensure that you learn from failure, because I don't know if you can really fail, or is that an opportunity for learning? Is that a growth opportunity? So it's the way we see it, don't we? Isn't it? And is that failure, or is there's an opportunity to learn from, that situation or that circumstance? So the relationship we have as a team here is one of complete transparency and trust. And if someone feels like they made a wrong call, the first person they'd speak to is Hazel. And they'd say to me, I think I made the wrong call. And I'd say, and what's the impact of that wrong call? What do you do now? How do you suggest you move forward? And they were able to reflect and learn from that particular situation.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually good. Okay, enough of the school stuff. I think you're doing a brilliant job on that front. But we want
Thank
to
you.
know, Hazel. Hazel, what are you doing when you are not at school, when you're not in your role? What do you get up to? What's fun for you? What's enjoyable? What do you do to relax?
The thing that is most enjoyable for me is spending time with my family. I'm very into family. I spend all my free time with my daughters, with my husband. My um, vision of happiness is sitting around that dining room table, whether it's over breakfast, over lunch, or over dinner. I insist that at least one meal a day is spent on that dining room table, where we're just able to enjoy conversation and that homemade meal. I love cooking. I'm always in the kitchen. I don't like takeout. I'm always cooking healthy meals for my family. They absolutely love it. And that is me cooking in the kitchen with the music playing in the background. I love a lot of the 80s music. I was born in 1970, so the 80s music is something that I absolutely love. And I spend a lot of time praying. I really, it's my faith that holds me together and keeps me grounded. Always praying for my children and for my husband, for myself, for my school, for the country, for the world. That's pretty much who I am.
Yeah, what are you cooking? Because you sound kind of like me. I love to be in the kitchen cooking. I'm not best cook in the world, to be honest, but I like to cook a little bit. What do you cook? What's your
I
favorite
cook
go-to?
absolutely everything and anything. I love South African dishes. I do cottage pies. We love having braais. We don't call it barbecues, we call it braais. I can do curries. We do roasts, pastas, all sorts of things. You just name it. I'm quite versatile.
Is it? Mm.
Yeah.
You're enticing me. You're in Abu Dhabi and you're enticing me. Be careful. I
You're
will
gonna have to come over,
I
and
will
then you can
show up.
judge my cooking. You do that.
You spoke a bit about travel earlier, and having the opportunity to travel from this part of the world is just fantastic. We were
Yes,
talking, guys, offline before we started recording about summer plans, and Hazel is
yes.
heading back to South Africa, and I'm trying to sneak away to Europe a bit before I get to England. Ultimately, I'd love to tot around Europe a bit if I can get some cheap Wizz Air ticket. Anybody knows anyone at Wizz Air? Hook a girl up. Um, where do you find that you enjoy going to other than South Africa, or a place that you've been to that you think, I would recommend going there to others?
For me, one of the highlights of my travel was the Serengeti. It was literally a piece of heaven. Just being out there in the open with all the animals was an absolutely incredible experience. That was my husband's dream. And 2 years ago, for his birthday, that was his birthday gift from me, we did a hot air balloon at the Serengeti, and it was absolutely magical. So I would highly recommend a trip to the Serengeti, one of the hot air balloon rides. It's absolutely magical. I loved it. And I could do it again.
And what's on your list now that you've done the Serengeti and that was your husband's dream? What's on your list?
I would love to go to Greece. I would love to go to Egypt. Those are the places that I'd really, really love to see, as soon as I possibly can. I don't have any plans for international travel this year. It's South Africa in the summer, and my Hannah wants to go home for Christmas as well. She's a little bit tired of going home during the South African winter, which is our summer here, because
All
she can't get
right.
to use her swimming pool. So she wants to go home in the summer as well, in the South African summer, which is in December. So no international plans for this calendar year.
Oh, wow. I can just imagine. We are in May and we're bringing the podcast to a close, but we are in May. And, it's a long-term three.
Yes.
Teachers, principals, and pretty much everybody, even parents right now, are just feeling the heat. They're feeling tired. What can you tell them? Because by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be June. What can you
Mm.
tell them to help them to keep going, help them to take care of themselves a little bit better?
I would say just keep going. You've done an absolutely brilliant job. We have all these little people who look up to us every day and are needing us to continue with the energy levels. And trust me, I don't feel the energy levels every day, but literally, I walk into the school and when I see those little people, I just am filled with such joy and happiness that the energy just flows out. So I'm saying keep at it. Just keep going. Don't give up yet. Or don't ever give up. We've got those little people that are looking to us and they're needing us to continue for them. Summer's almost here. We can then have a complete break. But I think everyone has done an incredible job in their own way and they give off the best they can. It might be just different to each other, but it's been a tough term. And I think we've just got to keep looking for support. You're not alone. There are people out there that you can talk to. We say this to the team daily. You're not alone in this journey. You have us. If you need support, talk to us. I've said that to parents today. We're in a journey together. We in a partnership. Use us. Come to school. The gates are open. This is your place. If you need us, just let us know, and we are available to support you. So I think
Fantastic.
really you just don't have to be alone in anything. There's always, somebody out there who's willing to support.
Brilliant. Thank you for being on the podcast, Hazel.
You're welcome, Lisa. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.